you'd probably understand this one point, that they understood in their heart of hearts that they were going to become a statistic in this country. Whether you realize it or not, 1 out of 2 people in this country will die of heart attacks, 1 out of 3 people will die of cancer, and I think that's moving to 1 out of 2 as well. Talking about 85% of the population dying of heart attacks or cancer. We lead the world in degenerative disease in this country. But the problem is, if you were honest with yourselves, you honestly don't believe that you're going to be that. You honestly don't believe it. But one time on a Sunday, I said, how can I, this is something I'm always praying about, how can I reach people and get them to understand this fact? I was sitting there watching a National Geographic thing on TV, and I don't remember, it was on the Discovery Channel, and they were talking about Mount Everest. And I'm not interested in mountain climbing really, but something captivated me with this piece that they were doing on Mount Everest. These guys climb this mountain. I have no idea why they risk their lives and do this. So I apologize for everyone I'm offending who really loves this stuff. But I was captivated. These guys hire these amazing guides to take them up this mountain. Now here's the point. Because I'm sitting there thinking after 3 hours of watching this on Sunday, and my wife's going, why are you watching this? I said to myself, I think that God has something in this for me. I'm not sure what. But here was the point that ended up happening. There's a certain line across, and if you show the next slide, literally there's a physical line on these mountains, on Mount Everest particularly, called the death zone. When you cross this line, you literally reach a place where the oxygen level changes so dramatically that you only have so much time in that death zone. Now here's the unique thing. They have all these Sherpas, which are these amazing guides that say, okay, they radio, one Sherpa takes you into the death zone. The other Sherpa is back timing you to see how long you've been in the death zone, how long your oxygen will last. At a certain point, they're going, here's how much time you have left. The interesting part is, when you're in the death zone, you don't realize you're dying. When you're in the death zone, you need somebody to tell you you're dying. So they cross over this line, and in this particular documentary, the men crossed over, and the one group was kind of ahead of them, but the other group were kind of taking their time and whatever. And so the guy, the head Sherpa back said, you have to turn around now. Your time, you'll never make the summit. And they're looking at the summit, it's right there. They call that summit fever because they think, oh, I can easily reach that. He's saying, turn around now, you're going to die. Turn around. You cannot make the summit. They wouldn't listen. They're saying, we feel great. We feel fine. We're going to go on. They didn't listen to him. So they moved on. They kept moving on, not listening to him. I mean, literally, the head Sherpa was, having, other men get on the phone saying, listen, think about your families. What are you doing? He was trying to inspire them, saying, you've got little kids at home. Turn around now. They wouldn't turn around. So finally, as they, continued up the mountain, they literally start falling asleep because the oxygen level. The other Sherpa that was with them, and these Sherpas, they live at this climate. These people are, just absolutely amazing and genetically amazing. They can go into this death zone a lot longer than we can. He's trying to, get him, wake him up and try to get him down. They were still resisting. He said, if I could just rest a little bit, I'll be fine. I'm going to move on. The guy's literally dying before his eyes. Finally, the head Sherpa, he was a really strong guy, he literally starts pulling these guys off the mountain, to the point where he finally, I guess, convinces them, and they start trying to come off the mountain. The story goes like this. They did get out of the death zone, but not without a huge consequence. The one gentleman lost his legs. The other gentleman lost all his fingers, his toes, his nose. So the point is yeah, they got out of the death zone with their lives, but at a huge cost. The analogy is this, guys. You have to realize, because you live in the United States in America, you're in the death zone. Because you do the things that Americans do, you're in the death zone. And if you don't realize you're in the death zone, I feel like I'm always the Sherpa trying to pull people out. I'm saying to you, come on, you're in the death zone, come out. But I'm telling you right now, those of you whose lives will transform today, are going to be inspired either by God or someone who you love, a family member. If you remember William Wallace, why did he go to war and battle? Because he didn't want anything to do with it. He went to war and risked his lives and fired up his countrymen because he was inspired after the death of his wife. And let me say you something. After a spouse or a child dies, don't wait for that to be inspired. You need to be inspired for them now. And I can tell you, you have to be inspired by the fact that if you don't make a change today, I believe in my heart that God brought every one of you here. But if you don't use the information starting today, and I've heard all the excuses that I'm going to wait, I'm going to do this, I'm going to wait. You need to start today. If you do that, you'll get out of the death zone, and you may do it without any consequences. And that's my goal.